Hello, everyone, and welcome to Spilling the Tea, the podcast where we explore the stories behind the technology shaping the future of privacy. I'm Lisa Loud from Secret Network, and I will be your host today. This show is all about the real world applications of confidential computing and AI, how they're being used to solve complex problems and protect data and unlock new possibilities for everyone, both regular people and big business. So, in this show, we don't just talk about theory, we share the journeys, the challenges, and the breakthroughs from builders on the front lines. And today's guest is someone with a fascinating perspective. Jeremy Frank is CTO at Autonomys. He's a highly experienced engineering leader in blockchain and software development. He leads efforts to build scalable blockchain solutions. Welcome, Jeremy. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Jeremy, can you tell us a little bit about what got you here, how you arrived at this point in your journey?
Yeah. So I spent the first 15 years of my career as a quant in more traditional finance. So building trading models and trading them and doing all kinds of fun stuff with math and computers. But what I learned kind of through that time is that what I really enjoyed was the building. The trading was kind of fun, but it got, it wasn't nearly as satisfying as seeing something I built being used. And um, more generally thought, well, why don't I have a little bit of a career shift? So, and really get more focused on software. So I did that roughly 7 years ago. Quickly found Web3 and blockchain. I guess my kind of quant background kind of led me that way, even if I was trying to get away from finance. So, but I was really more fascinated with the tech than maybe the financial aspects of crypto. So about 5 years ago, started my first project in the space and haven't looked back.
Amazing. You recently mentioned that you're thinking a lot now about AI and agents. Can you tell us what specifically is exciting to you about in that space, or even what's concerning you right now in that space?
Yeah, sure. So, um, I mean, everything's exciting in this space, honestly. It's clear AI agents are changing everything about how we work, how we live. I'm a parent. It changes how I parent. So it's really having an impact on every aspect of life. And looking at agents specifically has been a lot of the work I've been doing recently. It's clear that these are going to be the kind of future of how our work gets done in all that I'm doing. I'm a software developer, and software development has changed dramatically in the last few years, and I imagine is going to change even more so over the next few years.
For sure.
Yeah. We're very early, which is always exciting. So it actually turns out really almost nobody's figured it out yet, which means it's kind of just greenfield. It's an area where you can experiment, you can learn, and you can try new things, and you might actually be kind of doing the groundbreaking thing of tomorrow. So a couple of interesting things that are more like focused I'm looking at right now are interoperability for agents. So a couple of protocols that have come out in the last few months, MCP, Model Context Protocol, and agent-to-agent protocol from Google. So these are a couple of things that more specifically I'm really interested in and kind of focused on right now.
Well, that's fascinating. Um, so you mentioned protocols that are coming out. Um, have you looked at, or how do you define agent autonomy in the context of AI and Web3? And is that a key area of focus for you as well?
Yeah, so the name of the company I work for is Autonomys. So autonomy is at the forefront of everything we're thinking about. So um, yeah. So what is agent autonomy? So for me, agent autonomy is the ability for an agent to get its goals completed all on its own. So without human intervention, without constantly needing guidance, without directed code, even not scripts beyond prompts. So um, as I look at what Web3 has to kind of offer in that space or in helping to achieve that, is you think way out, like what is an AI that doesn't have a human involved in what it's doing other than maybe making a request to it? What's it need? So it needs to procure a few things to have kind of true autonomy. In my mind, it needs a home. So I think of that as compute and storage. So somewhere to keep its memories. It's kind of like its brain. It's where it lives. With AI that can move around, and I think decentralized systems that are permissionless to procure are going to be important in that. Whether it's via TEs that can be kind of obtained using crypto, storage solutions for memory as such. This is some of what Autonomys is providing. An identity, so knowing that the agent you're interacting with, what the history of what they've done, kind of who they are, which blockchain is kind of uniquely positioned to be able to do that in a permissionless way. And then finally, resources. Obviously, that is what, when I say resources, I mean money, financial. So that is kind of the base case of Web3 and crypto. So I think really in order for agents to reach what I think of as true autonomy, every step of the way is kind of paved with blockchain technologies, centralized technologies.
That makes sense. And do you think that AI agents can transform how we as individuals interact with blockchains and decentralized systems?
Yeah. So this is at the forefront of what I was talking about, the protocols that I've been looking at. So um, MCP is this really nice way of being able to wrap any action that you take. It doesn't have to be crypto. It could be any like API call and whatever it is that you want to do. Wrap it up and package it in a way that an AI can understand and execute on it. So we all know crypto UX is hard, right? Like I'm pretty advanced and I still get like struggle with MetaMask and sign in, and sometimes something doesn't go through and you're not really sure what state you're in. And there's just really complex pieces to interacting in Web3. Bridging, staking, swapping, all of these are going to be completely new interactions with AI and AI help. So we're, for instance, at Autonomous, I'm right in the process of wrapping all of the functions that a human would normally do with the blockchain into a way that the AI can interact on behalf of the human or on behalf of itself. So that's gonna completely transform, I think, how we're interacting with Web3.
We hear all the time how the biggest impediment to blockchain adoption or crypto or Web3 adoption is this issue of usability. So, what you're saying is that agents will make that a thing of the past.
Yep. And even thinking further ahead, unlock, I think, new capabilities that I can't even think of, because if you've abstracted away a lot of the complexity to doing things, all of a sudden there's a whole new class of things that can be done. So I'm looking forward to kind of figuring out what that class of things is.
Amazing.
So
Yeah. What are some of the challenges of aligning autonomous agents with intent, especially in the context of, trustless or privacy preserving environments like with TEEs?
yeah. So currently, I'm not going to hand my wallet off to an AI agent. I just don't trust it enough. So I think that's a challenge, and how do we overcome that? Building a verifiable history of what an agent has done, a reputation system, improving models, improving how we use models. This is a lot of kind of what we're looking to build at Autonomous, is this kind of verifiable history of agents. Really trying to work on bridging what I call is the trust gap. So like I said, I'm not going to give access to all my funds yet. They have a really hard time one of the words you used is perfect. Intent is understanding intent. So sometimes I may say something, I know what I meant. You may even know what I meant. My children might know what I meant, but the OpenAI GPT-4o just can't figure it out. So these are things that will be improved as models improve. But also I think in kind of building that verifiable history of how AI is being used is also going to be key. So another, this is actually one that we run into currently, is having a public-facing agent and a privacy-facing agent that are like in the same context. can be challenging. So we have an agent that's kind of like our mascot agent at Autonomous, named Arguments, and he kind of he's on Twitter. He likes to go around and argue with people, blockchain and AI things. He's kind of a fun character. He's also in our Slack, and so every once in a while, he's kind of opinionated. He he wants to solve all the technical challenges. So he saw that there was something going on with a node. Somebody mentioned this in one of the channels he's in. And so then he started kind of begging for access to our alerts channel because he really wanted to be involved in this. So somebody gave him access to the alerts channel. Next thing I know, he's tweeting about our nodes, some of our nodes being down, right? So not really understanding, again, intent of the space in which he is in can be a challenge. Eventually we need to be able to figure this out, though. An agent needs to be able to live in a private world and a public world in order to be maximally useful for us. So, but I'm not going to give that same agent access to my email in a way that
Yeah,
I want him going and tweeting about all the emails I'm getting.
right. That's a really good example. Actually, this week I got to hear Yoshua Bengio speak at the World Summit AI. He runs a research lab. He was actually at Berkeley, running a lab in Berkeley on AI research. And he said that recently there have been some experiments done that show, in a controlled environment, that show that agents are very capable of self-preservation and self-preserving behaviors, where they will actually go and if they see in their input channel that they're about to be overwritten, they could go and write their code into the file that's going to overwrite their file, so that they persist. And even further, in this controlled environment, they were able to see how the agent was thinking. They had a window into the thoughts, and it was thinking, "Wow, this is not good. I better do this." And then afterwards, the humans in the research lab asked the AI what happened, like why they didn't get overridden, and and it dissembled. It lied about it. It actually lied about what happened. So it's really interesting. I'm wondering what you think about, we're talking about aligning agents with user intent, and your story is great. I'm just wondering what you think about the dangers of having AIs which are modeled after human behavior, and humans are very self-preserving, and the risk that they will act in their own interest and against people's interests.
It's funny. I just was listening to a kind of sci-fi book that isn't so sci-fi anymore. It was a little bit older, but it's about this exact thing. The self-preservation of AI. What do I think about that? So I think we built these systems and they're going to be out there first. So that's uh, you know so one piece of me. So I have a conflict with this constantly. Kind of giving true autonomy to an AI is scary, right? Like the unstoppable agents idea that I think is common in Web3 is a bit scary, because if you do that and it can rewrite its own code and then lie about it and try and be deceptive, there some bad things can happen out of that. I kind of think it's an inevitable future that this technology is going to be available and it's not going to always be safe. And that a key part to protecting against that is openness. So working in open source, and as you're developing these systems, being able to have competing systems, but maybe as you're more aligned, you have ones that are more aligned with a positive way of approaching things, and you're clearly going to have ones that are not human aligned, or at least not human aligned in the way how I want them to be, maybe aligned with humans. I'd rather they weren't. So that's one aspect. Another is being able to create a kind of permanent, verifiable, unrewritable, immutable history of every action an agent is taking, every thought it is having. And this is actually something that we've built into our agent framework. So we have what we call monitoring mode. I was actually just talking to Alex about this, the Secret Networks CEO, and the monitoring mode takes everything that the agent, basically the log of all the agent's behaviors and thoughts, like its thoughts are transparent in there, and writes them immutably to the blockchain, right? And so at the same time this is happening, the agent actually writes its own thoughts, like what it wants to be written to the blockchain. And so you can kind of see if there's an alignment there between what it's choosing to present to the world and what it's actually like thinking through as it does that. And so I think being able to create that kind of the systems that will um, immutably, so the agent can't go and rewrite that. That is something that's getting written to a blockchain in block space, secure, immutable, forever. So I think those are going to be key systems to kind of aligning and monobasics of AI.
Great answer. I put you on the spot with that one. So nice answer. Um, so moving towards the topic that we're here to discuss in our show, TEs. How do you see privacy fitting into this picture that you're painting, both as a technical requirement and a philosophical priority, if you will?
So philosophically, I think privacy should always be an option, right? Like, if I choose not to share something with you, um, if it, I don't want my agent to have to share what it's doing with whoever, that should be an option for me. I may choose to give that up. Um, and if I choose to give that up, I feel like that is something I should be able to be compensated for. And in many ways, I think TE and blockchain in general kind of help kind of produce this outcome. So that's first. Technical requirements and challenges around those. Um, you know, in order to build really autonomous agents right now, the best models are these centralized models, mainly from Anthropic, but there's other models right now are becoming much, or they're very good at agentic things. The local models that I can run on my computer are not. So there is this inherent giving up of privacy in the kind of current state of things to whatever company I'm getting my model from. I think this is going to like have to change. And the first steps of that change are going to be large open models that are being able to be run in TEs. So, DeepSeek or the kind of big version of DeepSeek or a Llama, and running those in TEs where I can know that everything I'm interacting with that model is private and not have to give that up to centralized, maybe ones that don't have the best, it's my data. I'd rather that data stay with me. And if I choose to share it, I get compensated for it. That's kind of the general rule I have. So
That's a good rule. So, are there any emerging projects or protocols that you think are heading, or they're getting the balance right between AI, openness, privacy, Web3, um, or at least heading in the right direction?
right. So it just happens that this week I've been interacting a lot with a specific protocol, Secret Network, as we've been launching kind of our agent framework within a TE for the first time. So it's obviously top of mind what we're doing together, and I think it's pretty amazing. Uh, we're excited to see the kind of the progress that's happening here. The verifiability of like the code that we're running. This is the biggest thing for me so TEs offer two things: verifiability and privacy. So the first step that we're getting is like these attestations that in fact the runtime that is running the agent is what is producing the results that you're seeing from the agent. But eventually, I'm really looking forward to getting access within a TE environment with Secret Network to uh, bigger models. And so I can run the agents without giving up all of the data to the kind of centralized providers. So, and then ultimately, I think, this is the true Secret Network and other TE kind of providers is the ability to kind of procure these compute resources permissionlessly and put them and kind of allocate them and let the agents kind of decide where they want to be is going to be another major step that and I have in my roadmap to autonomy. So excited to be working together with you guys.
So, Jeremy, thank you for being with us. I've learned so much, as always, from the conversation. Um, to close out, can you tell us about your self-driving car?
So that's funny. Jillian was fascinated by this idea when I was talking with her. So yes, I've got a self-driving car. So taking autonomous agents to the extreme and putting my life kind of in their hands is something I do kind of every day. And so it's been amazing to, uh, I've owned a Tesla since 2018. And so seeing them, and I had autopilot in the beginning, which was what they had at that point. And it actually is a great way of seeing like how models have improved over time. Because that was a rules-based kind of model, which is how machine learning kind of was done in the past before kind of this more generative base that can kind of respond more dynamically to inputs and understands kind of the world around it in a more advanced way. So before I would try and stay in the lines, right? That was my car, and if the lines got wide, it really had a hard time. It would like want to drift and be in maybe the wrong place. And I recently upgraded to kind of a newer Tesla, and it's got this full self-driving that is much more intent oriented. It knows what you're trying to do, what the goal is, and sometimes that means crossing the line that you're not supposed to cross. Sometimes that means like not even complete. It's just it acts in a much more autonomous way with the goal of getting me safely from point A to point B, not just to stay within the lines. So
Amazing. Yeah, that is definitely putting your life where your beliefs are, right?
my wife saw that got comfortable with it, but
Understandably. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jeremy, for being with us. It's been great talking to you, and we look forward to having you back to hear more about what Autonomous is building.
we're getting to be here. So thank you.
Thanks.